So, before we get started, I'd like to introduce just very quickly what Volvo Group is. Volvo Group is not the Volvo cars. Volvo Cars and Volvo Group, they are different companies. So let's see what we're going to talk about today.
Lost, just look inside and you'll find who you're meant to be. Unstoppable.
So yes, we are here. My name is Tom. My Deutsch ist nur gut genug, Bier und ein Schnitzel zu bestellen. Also ist es besser, wenn ich auf Englisch weitermache. Yeah, so as you could see, no, not yet. As you could see, my title is Digital Product Area Owner, which means line manager and product ownership. And I'm working very strongly with this gentleman on my right-hand side.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So my name is Mingdao. I'm originally from China, moved to Sweden 10 years ago. So we're working very closely. I'm working as digital product manager for Backstage and Golden Parts in our company. Yes, happy to be here. And Tom's German is much better than me, so I will take fully English. Yes.
Yeah, and before we get into it, I wanted to give kudos to Ralf Waltram and Christoph Brink from BMW. Basically, the presentation they have done some years ago, I hope everyone watched it. If you haven't, make sure you watch it. It's super inspiring. It's about their journey of the DevOps, and that presentation helped us to get a lot of buy-in for our higher leadership when it comes to DevSecOps transformation. So I hope today we can do something similar as they have done. So I hope we can inspire you and get some insights that you can bring with you. But let's jump into it. So our journey started basically before COVID, when one of our key leaders said that if we're going to continue as a manufacturing company, China will eat us for breakfast. That's exactly the words they were using. And that was for us like, whoa, okay, interesting. So what can we do? But they not just put this in words, they created a very ambitious target for us, which is basically more than 50% of our profit should come from digital and services by 2030. It was 6 years ago. And it seems like impossible to achieve, because if you know Volvo, we are traditionally a manufacturing company, but we needed to make that change. And basically, we can tell we invested like a shed load of money, like an infinite budget 6 years ago, investing in tools, investing in people, cherry-picking people from the organization, outside of the organization. So we have done a lot. We are far from the finishing line, but we have something to share with you. And so we're going to zoom into it. We're going to zoom into our transformation, more specifically the DevOps area, where we're both coming from. But what we could tell, this is probably the greatest transformation in the transformation history. At least we like to think that way. But let's jump into it and see what we have done.
So the first thing is the golden parts concept. So you can see on the flow, on the screen, that's the basic DevSecOps. I think everyone in this meeting, familiar with that. And in our transformation, as Tom mentioned, we are transferred from the manufacturing, basically, to kind of IT work. So this is new for the company. And our baseline is like we have a couple of thousands developers, global team distributed everywhere. Everyone basically invents their wares by themselves. Then you can imagine how many wares we are in the company, too many. So in order to facilitate that, because today, like, everyone invents their own wares, that's like of duplication, but also like There's a big gap about compliance and security because everyone do it slightly differently and not fully have a Volvo standard for that. So to achieve this goal, we introduced the kind of golden path concept. Basically, the idea is like, okay, instead of everyone invent your own things, we provide a recommended way for all the team, so you can reuse, get support from our central team, make their life easier, and also have one Volvo standard compliance. So that's the idea of it. So that's our start point. And if let's move on, you can imagine this is like a classic project management, and that's exactly describe our journey. You know, when we start introduce the concept, now we get the key, will be success. When we start executing, all the struggling comes. When we go to review, it's not working, basically. There's many different reasons behind, of course, but just a few on top is like, one is like, when we are as a central team, we define these kind of golden rules. We're pushing hard to the team. We more take like a command and control mode. So you can imagine the resistance from the team is strong. And second, we have such big company, it's very hard to find one golden path fit for everyone. That's like one shoes fit for all. So that's also be a big challenge for us. And then, okay, we are failure, but we need to move on.
Yeah, exactly. So we were looking at the situation, right, at this stage, and we realized that we have done a lot, but there is not much take from the IT side. And we're wondering, what can we do? So we realized that we needed some kind of big change. We wanted to have some kind of superhero, someone who is really good, someone who has some kind of magic wand. And then I was mentioning the Chinese companies, like what else could be the best superhero if you look at the Chinese history than Bruce Lee when it comes to transformation. So don't get me wrong, he's my superhero, not Volvo's superhero, but I find it very inspiring when he said that, be water, my friend. What it means, Bruce Lee explains that if you put water in the cup, it becomes the cup. But what he means by this is basically we realize that we need to be adaptable to what the organization needs. It's not like one size fits all, and then we have a master plan when we can just roll out. That's not going to work. We really need to go deep and understand the problem and act like water, and then bringing the right problem to the right time to the right place. But that was not just the one thing that I could find very inspiring from Bruce Lee's speech. Just continuing the metaphor, the analog, what the water could also do, flow. So if you pour a glass of water in the rock, it finds its own way using the universal law, basically, moving to less resistant parts. And that's the flow where we have to focus on. When we are doing the transformation, we hit walls, big walls. And then instead of like trying to crack the wall, we need to find a way to take a turn and then find something else instead. That was the key turning point for, or at least one of the key turning points when we had. And the next is basically the consistency. Same thing again with the water. So water is not going to penetrate things in a quick way. Water is very gentle. Sometimes, like transformation, requires time. And it's like incremental and iterative approach sometimes that we are looking for. Transformation cannot be done over the weekend. And the last thing that we found is basically the resistance. It's resistant. You need to handle the resistance. If there is a pushback, you have to understand why there is a pushback. If the developers are pushing back, you need to understand why they are pushing back. Maybe they don't have that information. Maybe they need some kind of education. So handle the resistance, it's very important. It's the same thing with the water. Water is not strong, it's slow, it's not hitting the wall. It has some kind of gentle way of doing the transformation. So water can crash rocks, as Bruce Lee also said that. So we came to the conclusion, we need to make a big change. Of course, we couldn't hire Bruce Lee, but we got a new leadership. We got a new leadership who brought basically a different approach, which is the customer-centric approach. That was the game changer for us. We wanted to understand, when we're talking about customer-centric approach, first thing you might ask, okay, if this is customer-centric approach, who is our customer? And then for us, it was easy. It's our developers. We are talking about thousands of IT people in the Volvo group, hundreds of teams. So they are our customers. And then once you know your customer, next question that you might ask, are they happy? If they're happy, that's good. If they are unhappy, why they are unhappy. So we implemented the developer happiness. And that was very much aligned to the transformation, because when we got into the deeper section asking developers why you are not happy, the biggest pain, they said, is the waiting time. They got super confused when they wanted to do something, going back to our ambitions. They wanted to get access to the tools and use things. So they were like super frustrated to not having the freedom, but big organization like Volvo, we have very rigid processes and compliance. So we needed to combine somehow the freedom with the standards. Mindset, it's a fluffy thing, so let's go in a bit deeper and see what we have done.
Yeah. Yes, so we still believe the golden parts is the key, but we rebuild it with the Backstage. How many people have you heard about Backstage? Can you raise your hand? Good.
Oh, good.
It's a lot. Perfect. Maybe Tom, I can take. Yeah.
Yes.
So the first step we take to rebuild is we introduce this unified foundation. That's actually the Backstage. The long story short, if you're first time heard about that, that's the one-stop shop for developers to provide all the tools and the capabilities they need to basically do their daily job. Now we'll show you some examples, not just talking, I'm fluffy. So just give you a quick look at what's the Backstage. So this is how we understand that. You can find a lot of materials on the internet, like YouTube and so on. But this is how we look at it. So let's imagine you have a new developer or new developer teams. The first thing you need to do is get access for the tools you need. And second, when you get the tools, you want to build the software, and then you need to manage your software. And Backstage is our place to help our developers with golden parts all together on the whole way. So yes, let's move on to get access. As you see on the screen, we have a lot of templates, which you're able to just browse a few clicks, then you will get your tools done. And we'll show a demo very soon, but the idea here, like, it should never be more complex than that. Go to the our website, find the tools, then you will find what you need, and that's it. And when we talk about build software, this is the classic way, just an example like a web application. You need to have some front-end, back-end database, of course, and most times be tricky, especially in the enterprise environment, like a firewall, infrastructure, all these things take time. Sometimes not maybe technical side, but just get the process, everything be done, it takes time. So we don't want our developer to be stuck by these basic stuff. They should use their talents, to build the use case, the business case, and so on, instead of this basic stuff. So we use the kind of the software template framework in Backstage. We create this kind of template with the Volvo standard of golden parts. So instead of you need to go through everything, take a couple of days or weeks, here a couple of seconds or minutes, you will get a Hello World application, Java, .NET, or whatever, or maybe mobile, and then you can start your work. All the infrastructure, firewall, everything already open, ready for you. And when you have the software be ready, the next is manage software. That's more like the daily work for the business, for the developers. So Backstage, we take it like a one-stop shop. You can find everything. I know it's not easy to read, so I will zoom in a little bit. So this is one component for one teams. So here you can find overview, you can find link to a source code, you can find the documentation, like who is owner of the teams and many other information. You also find the links. I mean, if I'm a member for this team, you can find security, portal, you can monitoring, everything at one place. And quite often we have complex system, how to find dependency in between teams. Here is also easy way to find it. And so far it's only the overview, but you can see we also have a tab on the top that includes almost all the whole chain on DevSecOps documentation, CI/CD pipeline, everything at one place. Yes, so that's basically a little bit quick glance for the Backstage as a one-stop shop for our developers with the golden parts.
Yeah, so we're going to show 3 examples. This was the first one. And the second example was targeting the biggest pain, as I mentioned, the waiting time, the access provisioning, basically. So the traditional way, how it worked, if you look at the process perspective, we have in Volvo ServiceNow, Snow, and the process ownership is handled by one single team. We all hate Snow between each other. And the process is super rigid. If you own the tool, to make any changes in the snow, it's a pain. And that's basically led to lots of frustration to our developers. So if the developer wanted to get access, let's say, to the GitHub, they need to request, wait, approval, and then maybe in some days, sometimes weeks, and sometimes months, I haven't said anything, to wait something until someone pressed one button. That was very, very painful for us. So what we have done with the Backstage, basically utilizing the access provisioning feature with Backstage, it's basically, and now you can see this guy is happy now, but he grew a beard. So it took some time, but he's happy. He's definitely happy, I can tell. From the developer's perspective, now it's super easy. You just have to go to the portal, you just search what you want, click on the button, and then you have it. I will show you how it works in real life. But what is even more important is the process ownership. Now it's handled by each team. They know better than anyone else. And they can decide this access provisioning requires manual approval or some kind of very complex automated approval process that you can trigger and integrate into the access provisioning. Super powerful. But even if it's manual, you can pinpoint where is the bottleneck, where it got stuck. You can easily go to the respective product owner and check why the things are not moving forward. And on top of that, if they want to change the process, they can do it several times a day. Even before holiday season, they can just easily change the process and change the access provisioning. But how it works, I will play a video, but this is basically the Backstage portal. Before I start the video, I will explain what is happening. So people can go, you see, click on the search and type GitHub, and then you see the results, and then you choose GitHub. Good, review it, click on the review button, and then it takes 1, 2, 3, it's a recorded video, 4 seconds. So then you have the access. It's easy as it looks. And you might think it's very basic thing, but for us, it was a big changer.
Good, let's move on. So we have the third, maybe I can take, yeah. Well, the third example is where so far we talk about Backstage. We have shown one example like access provisioning, but as we mentioned earlier, we have more command control from central team, and we think that's not really scalable. The only scalable way is we need to build together with the teams. So we call it build by the community and for the community. So here's a bunch of different templates. I will not go to the details. The point here is you can see we have around 70% of these kind of templates or reusable things in our Backstage actually be done by our non-platform team. So it's not from Tom's and my team, it's from everyone else in the company. That's really boost the usage of it, because when this is something built by themselves, I no need to convince them to use it. It's already fit for their daily work. And also they'll be the best one to know what's their pain point. That's really make the big difference here. Yes.
Yeah, and basically, we started, when we're talking about the developer happiness, I really like your question in the previous slide, are the developers happy? This tells us that the developers are at least super interested in what we do. So we like to think that they are happy. You see the growing trend. The horizontal line is only because the summer season. They coming to our portal, they're looking what they're trying to find what they're looking for.
Yes, so far,
before we go,
yes.
We just put this slide today. There is no presentation without AI, so this is our AI part, so to share something like this.
Yes, so far we share our journey. We introduce you the golden parts, Backstage we want people to use, make their daily life easier, but so far we are talking about today. But AI is kind of evolving super fast. A lot of speakers will talk about AI today, and this is also our journey. So we believe on the left side is how we are today here. So in ideal situation, we want Backstage be popular in our company, everyone use it, but still you need to go to Backstage, searching the golden parts you want, maybe a CI/CD pipeline, or maybe set up firewall, and others. But that's you still need to apply it manually by yourself. What we believe in for the future, I guess many of you also believe so, is instead of searching, it will by bring the problem to the AI will find a solution for you. So as an example on screen here, and actually we already have some exploring POC as ongoing internally. It's kind of very promising. Basically, you provide the repository you need to the AI. Said, okay, I want to set up a CI/CD pipeline according to the Volvo standard, include all security scan, others, and then AI will just do it for you. You'll create a PR, and then of course ask you to review. If you're happy, accept, then everything is done. So that's what we are working on at the moment, and we want to scale up that, and we can make the developer life easier, much more easier, and increase the developer happiness.
Yes, time flies. Our last slide is basically just to wrap up. So what we're trying to put context into it today, it's basically the customer-centric mindset, super important. Whatever you do, who is your customer, what they need. And the second is we highly recommend to put Backstage and Golden Path into your radar if you haven't done it yet. Get familiar with and focus on the adaptability. Make sure you have the full flow. Make sure you can handle the change in a good way. And last but not least, be water, my friend. Thank you very much.